Hello friends, your friend Yash Singh is speaking. Friends, I hope you all are doing well. Friends, the Modi government will be toppled by the American deep state is a very big issue, a very big secret, which we will discuss in front of you, and will lay its layers in front of you. But before discussing it, let us talk a little about what the deep state is. So friends, the deep state, this American deep state, is a group of some such families, a group of some families of America, or group of those families of the world which have the ownership rights of all the weapons industry of the world, which is called the weapons industry, which is used in your country, and they have control over all the commerce of the world. That is, the banking sector, financial institutions, all of them. Those families have control over them. So there are some such families in the world. Their group is called the deep state. Friends, now, for example, there's a Rothschild family on which it is said that all the big companies in the world that make weapons, the ownership rights of this Rothschild family will be found in all of them in the world. That is, wherever in the world wars, etc., take place, this family is said to be behind it. Friends, but how these wars, etc., take place there, what role does this Rothschild family play in it? You will never read or hear about it in newspapers, nor will you find any such information through which journalists will be able to investigate how these families evolve directly or indirectly, how these families of Rothschild family are behind the big wars that take place in the world. Similarly, the world's biggest fund, which is called Blackstone Fund, has the ownership rights in all the big banks and financial institutions of the world, whether it is Switzerland, France, America, Britain, or even India. Friends, this Blackstone Fund has interference in all these. They say that there is a membership, that Blackstone Fund has shareholdings, so they control directly or indirectly, and it is said that there is no bank in the world over which Blackstone Fund does not have direct or indirect control. So friends, these are the kind of corporations about which you will not find much discussion, neither in newspapers, nor in media, nor on TV channels, etc. And you do not find much news about them in media. The reason for this is that all the big media in the world, their control is directly or indirectly with these deep state families. So they run the news there according to their wish, or they create such an environment that the kind of news they want will come there, and the kind of news they do not want, they create such an environment that the media will not broadcast the news even if it wants to. So this deep state works in such a way that it is very difficult for a common man to get hold of it, which you call it. But this deep state is responsible for all the wars in the world, or any major upheaval in the world. Friends, if we talk about the American government or the President of America, who is considered to be the most influential and powerful president of the world, or the president of the American government, friends. But let me tell you that the deep state, the American deep state, is their product. That is, it is their gift. The American government or the President of America, and the American government and the president there, how they attain that position, they do not understand it either, because the deep state prepares a strategy for them, which is implemented, that strategy is made, and its product, that is the government or the president, becomes friends. So understanding the deep state is not even in the power of big governments, so it is far beyond the reach of the common man. Friends. So I said this about the deep state. Now see, the second thing about the deep state is that the deep state never works against the human society, i.e. the people, anywhere in the world. First of all, this deep state creates an environment there. By creating that environment, it changes the government, etc. there. Then it makes things for its own benefit. Friends, this deep state never disturbs the common public. It never disturbs the common system that runs for the common people. Friends, because the deep state knows that if the common people are disturbed, then that game cannot be played, and it becomes a burden for the deep state. That is why wherever you see the issues of the common people, the deep state never disturbs them. The capital of the deep state in the world is America, and in America, you will see that democracy runs in the most powerful way for everyone. There is openness, whether it is media, press, or common citizens. They all have the freedom to express their views. Friends, The capital of the deep state is America, and there you will see how the deep state has given complete freedom to democracy, i.e., the common people. How it allows the government machinery to work comfortably because the deep state never disturbs the common people anywhere. Friends, there it definitely makes a strategy indirectly that the entire market and the public adapts to them, and then they do the work they have to do, friends, but they never disturb them directly. So this is about the deep state I told you. Now look, I will tell you that the American deep state in the whole world is fine, according to it. America, Canada, and Europe are fine. Even the Middle East, Gulf countries, all of them are working according to the deep state, due to which the deep state is benefiting in this way. If you look at Asia, India is run according to the deep state, from Thailand to Cambodia and all the countries in Southeast Asia, from Philippines to Australia, you can see they all run according to the deep state. And the deep state keeps making its own profits and keeps running the world. But if you look at the deep state, there are two powers in the world which do not come under the deep state at all. One is Russia and the other is China. Russia and China are two such lands of the world which are not under the deep state, friends, and or you can say that the deep state is not getting any benefit from these two lands. So this deep state of America is not getting any benefit from Russia and China or the lands of its friends, that is North Korea, and whatever friends of Russia are there, whatever minerals, etc., are there in their geographical areas. The deep state is very angry with Russia and China, or those who are close to Russia and China. Friends, there are some people on this, but you see, friends, now we come to our point that how and why the American deep state is hell-bent on removing the Modi government. So, see, friends, the first thing is that the deep state sees that Russia and China are already under its control. No, it is fine in the whole world. But India, which is such a big democracy with such a big population of the world, it used to work under the deep state. That is, the democracy here was very strong. Whatever developmental activities happen for the common people, whatever governments are there, everything here used to run comfortably in a democratic way. And the land of India, here our deep state, used to take whatever benefit it could think of. Friends, so according to this, India also used to run comfortably in a democratic way, which has a very large population of the world, a very big portion of it. Okay, friends, India is a country of 140 crore, in which the world's population is of 700 crore. 140 crore are in India only. Now, this India, which used to run smoothly, and the deep state used to get benefits easily, and things used to go on in this way, the deep state is seeing that it is slipping out of their hands. Friends, since the Modi government has come, the deep state has seen that in the last 10 years, the first thing is, as I told you, that the deep state does not disturb the common people. It keeps the democracy intact there and creates whatever issues it has. It creates the atmosphere according to its own wishes, but since you must have been seeing since 2004 onwards, the deep state is seeing that the common people of Bharatvarsh have been disturbed in a very tremendous way by the Modi government. The Modi government has created games of petty thefts. The deep state is not affected by that in Bharatvarsh, friends, but the deep state is seeing that such a large area of the world is fine, and such a large area of the world is fine. Percentage of population means Bharatvarsh, over which the deep state had control. What used to happen was that the deep state was able to control even the nearby China and Russia. Friends, okay? But now the deep state is seeing that the deep state is losing control over India. How the Modi government here is going in that attitude, it is seen going on that path, the attitude of the deep state, the path in which Russia and China have gone. So this is the biggest concern for the deep state, because the deep state cannot lose such a large area under any circumstances, okay? So the first point is this. The second problem that the deep state has is that the world's population, as I told you earlier, the common people do not disturb it. Now the deep state is seeing that in Bharatvarsh. Okay, as for the reasons for the rebellion, I am not saying that there is going to be a rebellion. Currently it is in India, but in the coming times, the deep state feels that a big rebellion can take place here, because here, unlike Russia, there is neither a single language nor a single language. It is spoken like in China. Only one language is spoken. Here in India, there are many types of cultures. There are thousands of types of cultures. There are thousands of types of castes, people of different communities. So there's a lot of diversity here in India. So here there can never be a single state of any single party. Now the attitude of this Modi government is like establishing a single rule of its own, anarchy type, like Russia and China have done. So this government wants to adopt this kind of attitude. The people here, who belong to different communities in different ways, have different cultures, whatever people call them. Here in India, they do not allow those differences, any single pattern, any single party, any single mood, any single policy, that it should be completely imposed on the whole of India. There is no such environment here for the people here. It cannot accept it because the history of this country has been such that India was divided into many different states. So even today there is a lot of diversity in India. So this single issue of imposing its own calculations, which the deep state is seeing as a single issue of the Modi government, if you look at that, then the deep state is understanding that the kind of issue of the Modi government, which is called a single area, the Hindutva issue, yes, and the Hindi issue, which the people here will not accept. Then what is the matter? That the deep state is seeing here that there is going to be a huge public outrage, and there will be such a horrific public outrage that it will shake the world, friends. And this is the thing that the deep state does not want to let happen, friends. Okay? Because the deep state knows that in small countries or countries with less population, like Syria, Iraq, there also political disturbance and de-escalation happens, okay? That is, that if there is a disturbance, then a lot of people from there reach America and Canada. So what happens is that the balance gets imbalanced in the world, okay, in cultural diversity. So the deep state does not want to let that happen. Now, friends, India is a country of 140 crores, where you can imagine how much population of the world is. If 20% of the world's population gets disturbed due to public outrage, due to the attitude of the Modi government, then it will become a big problem. There will be disturbance in the world's activities. The deep state will not want this. So this is the second reason that the deep state wants to uproot and throw out the Modi government. Now we come to the third point, the kind of attitude that the Modi government has adopted. It is engaged in fulfilling its petty interests. The Modi government means you must have seen the PM Care Fund, in which they have given money. Yes, look at the petty ones. The money that this Modi government has given for the deep state. It loots small amounts of money, very small amounts of money, okay, for the deep state. Friends, they don't care about it, but the deep state is seeing that the Modi government is looting small amounts of money in the name of PM Care Fund. Yes, it is looting money by increasing taxes. It is giving money in the bank to its friends. That is, it is getting funds from the Reserve Bank and banks, which is the money of the common people. Then, in the name of petrol and diesel, it is sucking the blood of the common people and collecting taxes. Yes, it is collecting VAT. It is distributing the money among its friends, okay? And after that, it is misusing all the agencies, government machinery, government agencies, okay, and spreading Hindutva ideology, making false riots. That is, it is totally disturbing the establishment of India, financially and socially. Both ways are fine, so. The deep state does not want to let this happen because, as I told you earlier, that the democratic setup wants the deep state to remain, and peace among the common people should remain until the deep state does not want any situation of war to happen there. So when they can weave whatever they want to, the things that the deep state sees are going out of control. So to control such things, the deep state wants to remove the Modi government. Friends, this was the third point. Friends, now we talk about how the deep state made this plan to remove the Modi government. So you see that suddenly the deep state saw that it is okay in America that Trump is getting support. So the deep state, you know that the people's opinion does not go against the democratic setup. So the deep state encouraged that Trump's government should be formed there. But then the deep state also saw that Trump people, who are called deal makers, are not going to gain control anywhere. Yes, over countries like India, because it is possible that they get sold anywhere, or some issue like this happens. Then the deep state does not trust. You can say the President Trump, etc. But what did the deep state do against his friends? Before this government was formed, when the Biden government was in power, you can see that suddenly, from where did you get a case against the Adani group? They got it handed over to the American government, the proof is called, for which such strong evidence was found in the court there that an arrest warrant was issued against the Adani group. So the action of the deep state is going on in such a way that the deep state knows completely how to tie up the people who are controlling the government in India, how to tie them up, from where to catch their hair, and how to wrap them up. The deep state started that whole process, friends. So in this way, you will keep seeing gradually. Now you will see that the foreign minister of India is sitting there for months, but the American government is giving them some information. Modi is not giving any value to the Prime Minister of India. Modi is there. India is a country of 140 crores, but its Prime Minister did not even get an invitation. The government was also formed in America. So all these things are directly and indirectly created by the deep state. The way these things are being done, so gradually the environment that the deep state is creating to neglect the Modi government, friends, you'll see this gradually, that you will not understand how this government is. Understand a little about when and how this gap that is going on will be broken. You will not understand at all how this government will fall, friends, but this is how it works. The deep state brings down an entire government. You must have seen that in the history also. You see in the entire world, all your Saddam Husseins, the government of Iraq was brought down, Syria. Then the way the governments of many countries in Africa were brought down. What game is going on in Afghanistan today? It was there, and then it suddenly stopped because there was a public demand in America that the American soldiers should be called back from Afghanistan. So all this was done. Friends, there is a deep state behind this. The deep state creates such an environment that the work is done in the world according to that. So on this basis, you can see that the deep state is not able to understand the Modi government at all. And this Modi government has been caught very well by the deep state. Friends, now this Modi government, which is called a small straw, is a big storm. This deep state in which this Modi government is like a straw. Friends, how will this storm blow away in such a tremendous way that you will not even understand how this Modi government disappear from India? You see, till today, it has been found out who was behind the wildfires that have happened in America. Friends, in the same way, you have come to know from where this COVID, the coronavirus, came till today. Then suddenly the HMP virus has come. Friends, yes, you have never seen this storm. No, these things keep happening in the world, which the deep state does, and they happen in front of you as well. But you, the media, the people, even the governments do not understand these things. They do not know where and how these things happened. Yes, who did all these things, but they definitely happen and come to the fore, friends. So in the last words, I would say that the deep state keeps its control in the whole world, and the whole world is running under its control. Only Russia and China are outside its control. And in the same way, the deep state would not want it to lose it from its hands. And the deep state has seen the Modi government very well. Okay, now I tell you that in India, the Prime Minister and the President and the intelligence system of India, they too would not know what the people of the whole country think and how they think. But there are some companies created by the deep state. I can say with confidence that even Elon Musk would not know how the price of his shares increased so much in the American stock market and how he became the #1 man in the world. Yes, I can challenge you and tell you that even the owner of Facebook, Zuckerberg, would not know from where. Facebook became such a super hit, and how it got the environment to receive funding, and how it became the social media king of the world, Mark Zuckerberg. So friends, I am telling you the same thing again and again, that the deep state has full information about the actual environment going on in India. The police of India, RAW, your CID, the intelligence system of India, all of them do not know anything, which the deep state knows. Friends, okay, where and how the accounts of every single rupee are moving here, the Modi government must be thinking that it has hidden it and the deep state is not able to know anything. As much as the deep state is able to know, friends, even this Modi government does not know how much money transactions are happening in the whole of India, through which banks. What is the public thinking here? The people on social media who keep themselves anonymous, that is, hide their faces. All the big politicians, all the big politicians, all the big people who keep themselves anonymous, that is, who do not reveal who they are and use social media. The deep state knows about them as well. Who are those people behind that ID who are using social media in this way? So friends, the deep state knows so much that even the governments here do not know. Friends, the deep state knows everything, whether it is the entire social media or financial institutions, whatever data you have, whatever data is running, whatever transactions are happening, all of them are under the information of the deep state, and they have such good knowledge of India, which the government of India and you and I do not have, friends. But the deep state has understood that if the Modi government stays in India for a longer time, then it will also go on the path of China and Russia, and this is absolutely unacceptable. Deep state, the state, therefore the deep state. You should understand that the noose has completely tightened on the Modi government, and this government, which is said to have to go, has to step down. Friends, and what kind of atmosphere and what kind of sheets will be created in the environment? What is happening with the deep state is not going to be understood by this government either. The Modi government will not understand it either, friends. So this is such a big thing that I wanted to put in front of you, an intelligence information and an idea which I put forward openly. Friends, how did you like this conversation and these ideas about the deep state? You too tell me, friends. Put forward your views and you join. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for this. Your friend Yash Singh, signing of Satyamev Jayate.